I recently spent a lot of time talking to big Amazon sellers about how to grow your Amazon business. The one thing I learned was that there's a big difference between revenue and actual profits, and how your biggest sellers might actually be your worst buying decision. Today, I want to walk you through 3 key areas that we've taken away that anyone can apply in the business, and how you can see that data in your own business today to help you grow more profitably. I've loaded into Sellerboard into the demo account. Now, if we come down, and I'm going to look at 2 items here. So you've got these 2 products, paper jewelry and corrugated box. So paper jewelry sells $1,350 per month, or in that period. And corrugated box sells $2,829. You're going to say, well, look, the corrugated box does more sales, and naturally, we're probably going to see that more and go, that's a great product. The one thing we really want to think about isn't actual revenue. They don't really matter. Revenue doesn't count. What we're interested in is actual profits. So if you have a look over here, you've got net profits. And you can see here for the corrugated box, we've got £400. And then for the paper jewelry, we've got about $391. So pretty much exactly the same. The one thing you really want to think about is, and also if you've been selling for a long period of time, is ROI. And this is return on investment. So you can see, and obviously you'll know it, this paper jewelry box has a better ROI than the corrugated box. I'm really interested in how much physical cash I make. And I'm not interested in sales because I don't get to keep that. I do get to keep my net profits. And so that's the number that I'm always looking at. If you are interested, you can get a free 2-month trial using my affiliate link in the description down below. If you go directly to Sellerboard, you only get 1 month. But if you use mine, you get 2 months free down below. And I've done lots of videos around how you can get more seller reviews and how you can use it for profit tracking and even creating shipments. It does so many good things. So do check it out, and obviously get the 2-month free trial. Use the link in the description down below. Now, the second kind of thing I would think about along with net profits is how much money did I have to invest to make that net profit? And you can see here, corrugated box, I had to invest in cost of goods, £762 to make 400. Sounds great, no complaints, I've made money. But in paper jewelry, I've only had to invest £130 to make 400 again, pretty much. With a lot less money up front, I can make a lot more profit. And at the end of the day, we're all limited by capital, how much cash we've got. And so really understanding not only just the revenue, but really that doesn't matter what your net profit is and how that relates to cost of goods is one of the key areas to be looking at. And you can see it right here. Every single month, looking at your products, looking at where are we getting really great ROIs, where are we getting great cash profits, where should we be doubling down on what works, which is great ROIs and great net profits, and what might we think about, hey, I'll probably spend a bit less time here, maybe on lower ROIs, where I've got to spend more money to make the same amount of profit. If I can double this sales, I'm going to be actually making $800 worth of profit with even less capital than I would for this one. Just looking at the revenue numbers means that you could actually be focusing on the wrong products because that makes you money, but not as much as the other one could if you really focused on it. So if you've been selling on Amazon for a period of time, you probably realize that focusing on ROI is a really good metric to help grow. But what's the other side of the equation, which really made a difference to a lot of people's business? One of the things we see, and especially with bigger sellers around wholesale, they're tying up a lot of capital into stock. So say, for example, I've got 2 products. Product number 1 makes me 30% ROI. And product number 2 makes me 50% ROI. On the face of it, product number 2 is the best one. 50% ROI is better than 30. Of course, that is going to win. What happens if I were to tell you that product number 1, we can buy and sell all the units in about 2 months. But product number 2, we can buy and sell all the units in about 6 months. All of a sudden, you've got to factor that in. Now, I can buy this product and sell it 3 times in the same amount of time it takes to sell product 2. So in effect, I'm getting 30% 3 times. There would be compounding, but I'm not going to include that. So really you're looking at 90% ROI in a 6-month period. And now when I look at the 50% ROI, that's now 50% in a 6-month period. And look at it that way, what you realize is product number 1 is actually the better choice. It's not just about ROIs, it's about how quick or how fast can you turn that stock. So how do we do that in our business? The one thing I really like, and again, I'll show you here on Sellerboard, is under this planning section, under inventory, what you can do is you can scroll down and have a look at your stock. So I'm looking here, days of stock left, because when I was looking at so many wholesalers, I would regularly see that going past 6 months, maybe even up to a year. I was like, wow, you've got so much stock in Amazon. And they're like, yeah, but it's a 50% ROI. And I'm like, my God, you could buy so much stock at a lower ROI, less of it, turn it so much quicker. and make more money. The thing that I really like here is when we're looking at our inventory and looking at trying to get maybe repricing, selling, moving our inventory faster, specifically looking at here, days of stock left. When I'm buying stock, I generally try and buy about a month's worth of stock. So that means I should have 30 days worth of stock left. So you can look here individually. If you don't have Sellerboard right now and you can't do that and you want to see if this is a problem in your business, one of the easiest metrics to look at is in Amazon Seller Central under your inventory and then dashboard. Look for what's known as your IPI score. And then in there, it's made up of 4 numbers. And one of those numbers is called your sell-through rate. Now, this is basically at what rate do you sell through stock in a 90-day period? If you had a sell-through rate of 1, that means you sell through all of your stock on average once in 90 days. So that means it takes about 90 days to sell. If you have a sell-through rate of 2, it means you sell through all of your stock twice in 90 days. That's about 45 days. And you have 3, you sell through your stock 3 times in a 90-day period, which is about 30 days. And remember how I said I want to get 1 month's worth of stock? Well, right now we're tracking about 2.33, I think it is, in our sell-through rate, which means I'm probably selling about 35, 40 days, and I need to get that down or back up to 3, which means I'm now getting into my 30-day period. And so coming into Sellerboard, you can actually look at all of your products and see how much stock have I got, where am I overstocking, what's going on, and you can start saying, should I be buying less? Should I be more aggressive on my repricer? Because while I might be making 50%, if it's taking 6 months to sell, it's 50% in 6 months. But if I can maybe drop that margin a little bit and do it multiple times in just say 30 days, now all of a sudden I can now get 30 plus 30 plus 30, which is 90% ROI on my investment. It's the capital. And at the end of the day, I'm here to make money, and sometimes taking a lower profitability, doing it faster, can make a big difference. And I love how you can just see this and dive in and look at each of the products. Like here, it'd be like 800, get on that. How can we get that stock moving? How can we get faster sales? This is the thing that I'm really looking at. We do all this effort to find products, to ship them in, not buy too much because we want to turn it quickly, and then get them sold. But the one thing we don't really understand or don't track very well, or haven't been, which is really the silent killer, is refunds. So let's just kind of have a quick look down. And again, we'll come back to these 2 products. So what we looked at earlier was obviously this one, not selling as well, revenue-wise, but profitability about the same. One of the questions is why? Well, first couple of things you've got to look at. Number one, what is that refund rate? Well, we notice this first one has got a refund rate of 3%, 3.08. But this second one's got a refund rate of 9.45. Now, to give you an idea, my business, we want to get under 4%. And it does vary. I mean, if you're doing very low value items, you can usually get it below 2%. So if you're your own warehouse, below 2% is a good thing. But if you're doing things like textiles, fashion, sneakers, you can generally be looking, if you're getting below 10%, that's actually a really good return rate. I know a lot of sneaker sellers who might be 15, even up to 20%, and that's going to kill you. Obviously, we've got returns, but how do those returns get dealt with? This first product right here, 100% of those returns go back into Sellerboard. So what we see with that product is that when customers return it, number one, it's got a lower return rate, but of the returns that came back in, which is 4, you can see that 100% got returned to Sellerboard. So that means they literally just went back on the shelf in Amazon, off to the next customer. Fantastic. We love that. But this one here, we got 12 returns. Remember, we're doing more revenue, more returns. But the return rate is much higher, and 33% of them are sellable. So only a third go back on the shelf to be sold. 66% of those returns, so like, well, that'd be 9, for example. I think it's 9. 8, can't do the math. But the idea is that those are just going to cause, we have to go sell them somewhere else. We have to deal with them. They're unfillable inventory. We just can't sell them anymore. They're probably damaged goods. And so understanding that with your stock is really important. Look at here, refund cost. That cost of like obviously having returns, we paid £34, £215. And what's interesting is that look at the revenue. This is 2,800. I'm spending nearly 10% of the revenue on refund costs, which is just crazy. This one is like a fraction, very little. And the other thing which I don't think you realize is that whenever you get returns, think about in Amazon FBA, you pay for shipment out to the customer. And then when the customer returns it, Amazon basically pays for the return. Obviously, you get the product back. You don't get the revenue sales, but you still pay for that initial FBA shipment. Each return not only has a risk of it being unsellable, but you also have a cost It's not like a free return. Oh, I didn't lose anything. No, you're still paying. And what's even worse is that if your return is in fashion, textile, or sneakers, you have an additional fee to pay on top of that to manage those returns. And then what's even worse on that is if your returns are above the category average, I think Amazon charge you an additional fee on top of that. So if you're looking at like a 9.45, you're probably getting additional fees for returns on top of that because it's a very high return product. The secret killer to your profitability can be not just the fact that you're making extra revenue, but the fact that that revenue could just be coming straight back in regards to returns, and you're paying so many additional fees on top of that, and you just don't see it. And a lot of times I've seen this with people, especially if they're using spreadsheets, they kind of look at sales, they look at profitability on their sales, and they don't factor in the returns, and then all the additional costs on top of those returns, which then add in even more fees, which take away from the profits from the product that didn't get returned. And so hence here why you've got one product which does really, really well and another product does well, but they both make the same amount of profits. One does double as this one, and they both make the same amount of profits. So really looking at your return rate and every single month sitting down with like Sellerboard, for example, and going, what are those products that have got high return rate, have got a problem? Right, find out why, but most of the time we just stop buying them. It makes such a big difference. For you, if you want to get these numbers and look at them and understand how it affects your business, do grab that link in the description down below and get the 2-month free trial. Obviously for myself, you're going to get much better than you would there. Scaling revenue is easy, but what you don't recognize is that actually most people, when they grow, they lose profitability to the point that they become unprofitable. I've seen it too many times. Number one, focus on ROI as a metric to grow, because return on that in capital that we've got, and it's always limited, is going to be one of the key drivers of our success. Number two, think about not just ROI, how much stock I'm buying and how long it takes to sell. There is no point buying a slightly better deal that takes 10 times longer to sell because you've got to buy too much stock. You really want to be buying, getting it sold, buying, getting it sold as many times as possible. That's where the real money is made. And then finally, number three, think about your returns. This is the silent killer that is eating you up. Using Sellerboard, you can look at not only sales, you can look at the return rate, the cost of those returns, and obviously see the net profits. And what you're really trying to do is every single week or every month, look at the ones that are high return rate, try and figure out why. Most of the time, stop buying them. Just focus on the products whereby people want to keep them and it's not costing you money to buy them. I hope you've liked that, and I hope that's helped to scale your business, how to grow your business profitably and not just based on revenue. But if you like that, give me a big thumbs up, and hey, drop me your learnings down in the comments down below. But I'll also drop a video around here about how to use Sellerboard to get those seller reviews, which means you get a higher percentage of the buy box. So check that out.